every camp, I just found opportunities to talk and make relationship with everybody on the team. So it was by the fourth, fifth camp, I think we got together as a team, and I started enjoying being with it. This team being a younger crowd and everybody coming from diverse backgrounds, it was very challenging for us to get them together as one team. Especially in the first couple of camps, there were multiple groups with similar comfort levels, either from same city or same gender or same speaking language. So for us as coaches, this was one of our biggest challenges. So we had to constantly keep thinking of team bonding activities and sessions where we could bring all these players together. Still, it was a challenge where during the session everybody would be together, and after the session there would still be groups being formed. But the more we were together during the camps, we were able to eventually just break this challenge.
So to address the diversity on the team, we had created buddy groups where each group had people from different regions. These groups would do a lot of fun things during the camps, right from having competitions like India's Got Talent, where they showcase some amazing dance moves and magic show, and so just things to bond and connect. We also had our values was in 3 languages. So we had 3 values which was created by the team. It was Veritanam, which is intensity, Ekta, which is unity, and Garv, which is pride. So the team decided that these are the words that we want to use. I think this also helped us approach the campaign in a way where we included everybody's ideas, everybody's language, everybody's thoughts. As we progressed in the campaign, the friendships got tighter, the defense got tighter, and there was a lot more bonding. We were figuring out what our roles are on the team, and the team was coming together as we went ahead. My responsibility was to assist Buddy, the head coach, in whatever tasks that he had. Some of my roles were to design board sessions. My role was also to create an atmosphere where people feel light and where they could be themselves and just have fun. I also was responsible for ensuring that good relationships are formed between the players on the team.
Some of the hurdles we faced was, one, the team was spread out all across India, and for people to come to a training camp at one place was difficult because there's no central location where majority didn't have to travel. Wherever we kept, there was some group of people who had to travel, and this is where I think the funding support and all incredibly helped, where we knew that we had funds for this, so players could borrow some money which they could put it back later. And another challenge which we faced was especially accessibility to grounds. Like for instance, Bangalore would have been a very central location or a relatively central location for majority of the team with less amount of travel, but for us we couldn't find training grounds in Bangalore at low cost, which were at it exceeded our costs which we had penciled in for training as such. So that was like a drawbacks and stuff, finding the training ground venues and stuff. Like I said, the training camps, the majority of the team stayed together, and we also encouraged a lot of team bonding activities at training camps. Like for instance, we had different forms of activities at say one of the Surat camps. There were whole evenings dedicated to just having fun. So just because this once was a very young team, the average age of the team I think was just 20, 21, and they were all kids who and who just enjoyed playing the sport, and that's something we coaches wanted to keep the mood as such. Like, we wanted to keep it, we didn't want to be very serious or something. Like, of course it was important that players were disciplined and worked on their training and stuff, but overall the mood was just light and jolly and fun, and that was something we consciously worked on quite a bit, and we did. Yeah, like some activities where I think during Holi, we had a training camp in Chennai, and the team as such played Holi together, and in the night we had a campfire where everyone sat around, talked about stuff, things like that. And yeah, strategic preparation as such, one part which we as coaches continuously focused on was we as like I said, this was a very young team with an average age of just 20, 21, and there were a lot of them were playing for the country for the first time. So something we did especially was playing a lot of games in India before we went to the tournament. So in each training camp we would probably invite a local team or an all-star team from the community and like play different sorts of games. It was so the games for us also had different focuses internally. It was sometimes all games were not about winning, and there were things which we would work on and stuff, but one of our focuses in playing such games was to improve the mental training aspect of it, to put the players in game-like situations which would be reproduced at the tournament. Because otherwise, if we are just playing amongst ourselves, we don't get to play as a team, and the first time we do that will be at the tournament, which will be hard. So that was something we constantly focused on, to make sure every training camp the players played games. Also, another thing which we did, strategic or training wise thing which we did was, having different kinds of scrimmages to build up mental toughness or to focus on specific things. For instance, there were scrimmages where we would play 6 versus 7, where Ultimate as a sport is played 7 on 7. 6 versus 7, it just means the 6 players need to work that extra harder and stuff like that. So that was something. And the biggest changes which we saw in the players after coming back and stuff, which I think a lot of players as such told, were, I think almost all of them had that extra bit of confidence. Once you've played outside India against very tough competition, coming back playing here, you find that the game is much more slower, the pace of the game, and you're just much more comfortable in your skills, which a lot of players were. And the majority of the campaign we focused on individual development, so a lot of stress was placed on individual training, how each player took their training program or did their fitness and stuff. So everyone, I think, at least grew in some aspects as a player, and a lot of them have mentioned, now the club season has started in India, and a lot of them have mentioned that they feel more confident, and they are better players, which others in the community are also saying.
I'm going to miss everybody, all the players and all the coaches in our WhatsApp group. Like every day we used to get a lot of messages, a lot of videos and a lot of photos, but now I feel like there is nothing in my phone. Every month there is camp, to travel to camp, like attend the camp and stop, like keep thinking about the camp and all. And every week we used to have a coaches meeting. So I'm going to miss everything, all the things we did it in the camp, and all the funs, and especially I'm going to miss my coaching staff.